So I tried doing a video about separation between art and the artist, but that shit didn't really work. I mean, you still shouldn't see artists as certain people that are like these gods or like somebody that's a role model or a deity. You should instead see artists as people that just make music or something that you like. And that's the way I see artists. But when I was doing research for this video, I decided to just change it into something different. Basically, we're going to be talking about a lot of bands that are pretty bad with the people that were surrounded by them. Now, obviously, I don't think everybody within these bands is genuinely terrible people. Most of them are usually the frontmen. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. But you shouldn't harass anybody within this video. You shouldn't try and hate call them. You shouldn't do anything like that. Also, if you like any of these bands, I'm not here to genuinely just fucking specifically target you or your band that you enjoy. I don't give a shit. Listen to whatever the fuck you want. I separate the art between the artists all the fucking time. But some people just can't do that and they don't understand you. I get it, don't worry. Trust me, I understand you. I'm a Kanye fan. I get fucking crucified every single day on the internet because of it. But regardless, for you special little snowflakes that needed that warning, I got you. Anyway, this is everything wrong with each individual band or artist I can think of right now off the top of my head. Either that or like off the script that I'm currently reading, because I actually did write some shit down for this video. Let's start it off with my least favorite band of all time, Falling in Reverse. Falling in Reverse is one of the worst bands of all time. I do not give a fuck if you like them, that's just ass. Regardless, Ronnie Radke might actually be like top 5 worst fucking frontmen of all time. He's just so fucking violent and literally just is so aggressive to the point where he literally targets other bands that are completely unknown or just got into the scene that they're in. And literally, he will just fucking argue with anyone. His girl, he also beat her. And just random fucking fans. Literally anybody. I'm being so fucking real. It's kind of crazy that he did make Sexy Drug in that shitty booty ass fucking video game song. Trying too hard to beat the stage. Like that retarded shit. Now I can stop talking about that. Let's move on to Attila. Attila makes metalcore music, and their frontman, Franz, is basically just a fucking 4chan edgelord who, without the band, would probably have a neckbeard and be leeching off his mother in his 30s. And making consistent controversies is like his biggest fucking thing he's ever done. Regardless, I don't even know why he's doing this shit, because it's keeping it relevant, but it keeps bringing up the fact that he literally almost sexually assaulted a minor, and these allegations keep popping up whenever he does something. So I'm not sure why he keeps doing this shit. It's technically alleged, so we don't really know, and most of the Attila fans are minors, most likely, because I don't think anybody above like 13 will listen to the slop that currently is coming out of this motherfucker's mouth. Also, side note, his Twitter is just literally like a 17-year-old angsty teenager that just fucking found XXXTentacion, or Lil Peep, or Lil Tracy. Now I'm going into bad territory just even saying this name, but Mayhem is one of the worst stories that I've heard, and it's genuinely upsetting whenever I fucking hear it. Okay, so if you don't really know like the backstory behind Mayhem, it's a Norwegian black metal band that had a bunch of like influence upon like actually the metal scene and everything around it. Main vocalist Dead, who was actually got that name because he got fucking jumped by bullies and actually fucking ruptured his spleen during a show, ironically was obsessed with death. He committed it to himself. Regardless, I can't say the actual word on YouTube. You just have to kind of fill in the blanks. But partially due to why is because of his bandmate Euronymous, the guitarist of the group, who actually was infatuated with death as well, but specifically his death, to the point where literally he took a fucking picture of his corpse and made it their new album. He thought it was a funny little jokey joke. Obviously, the other members didn't really agree with this, but it was an unreleased album, album cover, my fault. And it just eventually turned into this big thing where people would tell other people to look it up online, the actual album cover, because, you know, gore is so edgy and funny. Regardless, rip Pierre Ovenin, that motherfucker didn't deserve that, bro. Also, maybe to be a little bit too early to say this, but also Dave Grohl is kind of on here because of the fact that he cheated on his wife. I mean, genuinely, it's not like it's the worst thing that's ever happened, but, you know, Dave Grohl was supposed to be this big family man. He presented himself to be so goddamn wholesome, and it just, like, really confused everybody after he did that. So, yeah, I mean, I still like his music, and I will still listen to Foo Fighters and, of course, Nirvana. It's just unfortunate that I have to be associated with this, a little bit at least, because I obviously separate shit, but you know, motherfuckers are gonna bring this shit up whenever I put it on the aux. Blood on the Dance Floor's Davi Vanity has to be proven on so many levels to be a real piece of shit due to him forcing bandmates to perform with HIV, but also forcing himself upon underage girls and also regular women in general without a care in the fucking world. And actually, some of his love ballads supposedly were actually about minors. Fucking crazy. He's also a stain upon anybody who has the fucking name Jesus or Jesus. I don't really know like which way to correctly say it. He just makes my fucking skin crawl, bro. He's just so nasty. And also, he's not incarcerated. He's never been. And also, he's just like free roaming upon this world. Somebody needs to really imprison that motherfucker. He's really terrible. Burzum's already done so much damage to the point where like it's not even worth it really talking about him, but I'm just gonna list it off. He's a Norwegian black metal guy. I mean, he's only one person. It's only a one-man band. But regardless, he believes that race mixing is a problem and that white people are the purest form of humans. He burnt down 2 churches. He killed the second Mayhem guitarist. It wasn't Euronymous, by the way. And Kanye owns his fucking merch. Also, yeah, he is one person. Just making sure that you know. The next one is a little bit less known, but his name is Porch Step. He's another fucking one-man band, but he makes shitty pop-punk music this time. His girlfriend talked about his forceful nature and asking for nudes and all this other shit, and actually literally wanted to fuck her through the phone, but of course she didn't do it and did not want to in the first place. And they went to War Tour and they met up in War Tour because they were online. I think they met through Tumblr. I don't even remember exactly where they met, but regardless, he persuaded her into having sex with her and took advantage of her. Not only that, he became a controlling manipulator later on, and he tried like putting this nice guy act when she was first with him, and he was actually proven to be a sex addict and actually flirted with underage girls on Tumblr. His excuse though for interacting with underage girls, he believes on God. That's why he says that. And he believes that Hitler and Jeffrey E. will come with him into heaven. I think this is enough about his character to the point where I don't want to say anything. I've been dreading this entry the most, but I'm gonna have to talk about it at some point. Lostprophets was a new metal band that was Welsh and actually had the worst frontman of all time. He had 13 different child sex offenses where he supposedly not only essayed a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old, that's confirmed anyway, but was confirmed, and he admitted to this himself in court, to have attempted to R-word a literal fucking baby. He eventually got stabbed in prison, and that's definitely well deserved, but he also survived. He's been sentenced to 35 or 36 years. I don't exactly remember, but he's locked away, and that's all that matters. Another band with a bad frontman was Slaughter to Prevail. Slaughter to Prevail is a deathcore band where their controversy came from Alex Terrible, of course, their fucking frontman, who had a black sun tattoo on his arm. If you are uneducated about the black sun tattoo, and actually either that or got like a 67 like your history test or some shit, basically it's supposed to show the superiority of the Aryan race and the power that they held to a godlike degree. If you don't know what Aryans are, they were Hitler's master race of people. Regardless, he addressed it on Adam 22's podcast. Regardless, he explained it on there that he had an extreme interest in esotericism and also philosophical discourse about it. But we're gonna have to talk about another black metal band, and this time their name is Inquisition. Kind of ironic due to the fact that I'm pretty sure Inquisition is a religious name, but they're a black metal band that was released from their label, somehow obtained a physical form of media called CP, aka Club Penguin. Not really Club Penguin though, if you understand what I'm saying. Luckily, this is our last band, and it's called Antwoord. They were a hip-hop group consisting of 2 people, Yolanda and Ninja. Yolanda and Ninja were a couple that rapped together. I mean, pretty obviously, but they talked about really controversial topics. They're kind of like JPEG Mafia, I guess you could say. I really don't know. Their production was probably ass, and they probably rapped like shit. Antwoord's son, adopted anyway, had alleged in a 45-minute long video that they essayed him. They also said racism in South Africa is a thing of the past. Also, Ninja, the guy behind it, is actually supposedly a big bitch. From a quote from this one lady whose name is Zahana Sparks. There's other sources that also point out that there's other fucking parts of SA, and that also that their son has talked about the fact that he would be like the king of hell and actually be able to burn people and bring upon darkness into this world. He also said that he was supposedly a slave and also like Ninja, the guy. Regardless, he's abusive, and just in general, this is a terrible situation. And there's probably more that I haven't even talked about. So do your own research if you really want to look at this shit. Because right now, just off of this shit, I'm fucking sickened. I don't even want to look at this shit anymore, bro. Anyway, that's really all I had to say about this shit. And I think I might make a part 2 to this if I really becomes like a pretty popular video, or at least something that you guys want. I mean, I can just go deeper into this shit. There's probably like thousands of different artists that I could go into in depth about each one of these things, but I mean, I don't know all of them, so you can give me like suggestions or some shit. I don't really know. Regardless, this has been a long ass fucking video, and I feel tortured by just even looking at half of these people. I think that's where I'm gonna end it off for now. Listen to Frank Ocean. I'm not this bitch.